5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello, ladies. How are you? Jeannie, Rachel, is that right? Yes. How are you,
Wow.
ladies? Let me text Beth and ask her how I'm doing.
Oh.
She normally tells me.
I did not work today. I was very lazy and did nothing today.
Nothing?
Nothing.
You didn't even go to the beach.
I didn't. The weather is very warm, but it's very overcast. So no, I did not even go to the beach. I did go look at our house.
A little on a chilly side, but not really.
You guys.
How
It was
is it in Indiana?
45 here. It was 45 when I left my house. And then by the time I got to her house, it was 40.
Hello, ladies. How are you? Jeannie, Rachel, is that right? Yes. How are you, ladies?
Wow.
No. I know. It's been one of them Sundays.
I'm good.
Good.
How are
I'm
you
good
doing?
as well.
Good. Good.
How are you doing?
I am okay, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me text Beth and ask her how I'm doing.
Oh,
She normally tells me.
gotcha.
Yeah. No, all kidding aside, I'm doing fine. I'm doing
Good.
yeah, just my normal 7 days a week of work and no break. And but I did something very interesting. I decided to get into my vacation time and figure out how much vacation time I have saved up. Guess how much vacation I have?
I'm going to go with 200 hours.
200 hours.
Yeah.
Rachel, what do you think?
I'm going to guess 5 weeks.
Okay, I have 3 months worth of vacation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that it just keeps on every year,
Rolling over.
personal time and all that stuff. So I filled out a vacation request form the whole month of December. This was a couple days ago.
I was going to say it's December.
And you're at work?
Yeah, well, I'm still working. But what I did is I changed my mind and I changed it for the last two weeks of December. I'm taking off.
Nice.
So it still hasn't got approved.
Oh, my gosh.
Knowing my luck, I'll be working on Christmas and New Year's. But anyway, needless.
Did you work today?
I did work a little bit today. I did.
I worked today, too.
Did yeah. I got that. How did I know this?
I don't know. Oh, you probably saw it on Facebook because I couldn't go to the Christmas.
Yeah, maybe that's what
My
it was.
dad's side Christmas because I had to work.
Yeah, that's what it was. I knew I seen it somewhere that you couldn't go. Did you hear anything? Was it okay? Was it a success?
Yeah, I talked to Adam and my dad because when I got home, they had just gotten home, and they said there was a lot of food there, and it was really good, and everybody had a good time.
Awesome. Very cool. And Janie, how are you?
Yes.
What's going on with you?
I did not work today. I was very lazy and did nothing today.
Nothing?
Nothing.
You didn't even go to the beach.
I didn't. The weather is very warm, but it's very overcast. So no, I did not even go to the beach. I did go look at our house.
No.
That was about the extent of it.
Well, good for you.
Nice.
I envy you. That's awesome. So what is the temperature there?
It was 74 today. 74. So it was very nice.
That is nice.
That is awesome because, I'm down here by Florida, or about 2 hours from Florida. The Panhandles were 2 hours from the Panhandle, basically. And it only got up to like 60 today. So it's a little on a chilly side, but not really.
You guys
So-
suck.
How
It
cold
was
is it in Indiana?
45 here. It was 45 when I left my house. And then by the time I got to her house, it was 40. And that
Really?
was, yeah, and that was like this morning.
Wow.
Not too early. It was 10, 9:30, 10.
Jeez.
And I didn't get any, I mean, it rained all day, like drizzled, and it was horrible.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I can go outside without a jacket on, and I played
Okay, we're going to go on with something else now.
played some
It's
frisbee
not
golf.
fair.
So I had some playtime today, just some.
Okay. Well,
But I didn't
that's
work.
good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. You got to have that every once in a while,
Yes.
But cool.
Yeah. So I have
Right.
some something funny I came across I wanted to tell you guys. I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah?
you saw it, but it was like I was scrolling through Facebook or something,
Okay.
and I saw this article and I thought it was funny. So this man, this dad, told his kid that he accidentally sent Santa the grocery list instead of his son's wish list. Did you read this?
No.
And then he videotaped his reaction because Santa literally brought him food. It was the funniest freaking thing. Oh, I
Well-
was cracking up. And I'm like, why didn't I ever think of that? That would have been hilarious.
That would have been funny. That is funny. That's crazy.
And yeah. And then I followed this lady called her name is Barbara O'Neill. She's a holistic doctor.
Mhm.
And she's from Australia. And I don't know a lot about Australia, but apparently they have these huntsman spiders. Have you
Did-
ever heard of a huntsman spider?
Are they them huge spiders?
Look them up. I almost fainted just looking at a picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what they are.
And that's like a normal thing there.
Yeah.
She
yeah.
lives in the mountains, so I guess she sees them a lot, but I could not.
Yeah. Yeah, them things are just like in the Middle East too. They got these huge, I don't know what they're called, but these huge like spiders that blend in with the sand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, thank you.
Yeah, they're huge. Yeah. I don't know what they're called, but yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. I could not live there.
I mean, Jeannie, what do you have there in Myrtle Beach? Do you got any big spiders or anything like any? I know you got a lot of. You guys still have a bum issue out there? Because I
A
noticed
what?
A what?
bum, homeless.
Yes.
Oh, bum.
Yeah,
Yes. We have a significant amount of homeless population here because, the weather is relatively nice, but we don't have the resources that you might see in the northern states. We have very few resources down here for the homeless population. So, yes, there's a significant amount of them. There's not what you would see or what I would see in Ohio, where you would have all these resources as far as shelters for them to go to, cold
Yeah.
shelters, things like that. They just don't exist down here. One, it doesn't get cold enough. And the resources just are not there. So,
yeah.
So, over spring break last year, we took the kids to, Josie and Kira and their friends, we took them to Florida, and we were supposed to go to Daytona, but that got canceled and they transferred us to Orlando because of that hurricane damage, and it still wasn't fixed. But one day we went over to Daytona so they could like play on the beach or whatever. So we're walking and there's like a boardwalk, and the whole thing is just filled with homeless people.
Oh yeah.
And someone told me that in New York at the end of summer last year, they bussed a bunch of homeless people down and dropped them off down south because there was so many of them dying here in the winters. Well, not here, but in New York. And that's why that area, at least, was overpopulated with homeless people. There was a lot. Like there was like a park that had like pretty trees. It was a really pretty park, and they were just laying everywhere.
We have to do something. I mean, even here. I mean, everywhere I go, they're they're just everywhere. I mean, there's got to be something we can do that's better. It's got to be.
I wish there was.
Mm,
They're really sad to see that.
yeah. But on the positive note, I bet their rent is cheap.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, got a question real quick for you ladies.
Yeah.
What is the best gift to buy ever?
Well, that's like a very vague.
In general. The
It's
best-
an open. That's a very open-ended question. Or
Yeah.
Is it a gift for a specific
no,
holiday, occasion, specific gender, specific relationship?
it's all that combined. The best gift ever to buy.
I don't know.
To me, it depends on the person.
Exactly. You have to narrow it down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay.
I could sit here and say a car, but like a 2-year-old isn't going to want a car.
Can I just tell you?
Yes.
A broken drum.
Why?
Come on, people. You can't beat that.
Bump.
That's right. Woohoo!
Don't hurt.
Oh.
Don't quit your day job.
Oh, okay. Next. Okay.
Goodness.
That's good. Well, ladies, I'm glad everybody's doing good. And everybody made it through the week. And we got another one to make it through. And I'm hoping everybody's well.
And then you'll technically maybe be on vacation.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it gets approved. I have my doubts, but we'll
I'm
we'll see.
crossing my fingers for you, Kurt.
Well, thank you. And if it doesn't, it's okay. I mean, but it'll be nice to have some time off. Well, Rachel, I'm just telling you right now, if I do get 2 weeks off, I'll probably be overbugging you because I'm going to be bored out of my mind.
Okay.
So just to let you know.
Sounds good. We can go do something.
All right. That sounds like fun. You know what we can do?
What?
We can go to Myrtle Beach because it's
Man.
I
It's
would
like
love that.
4 degrees there.
Trust me, I would love it.
Come spend Christmas with us in the tiny house.
There you go.
Can I bring my dogs?
Yes. Let's
Can
have
you imagine?
more animals.
They're big at that. I mean, that's probably not good.
Oh,
The
good.
Amazon guy came here today, and I knew he was coming, but when my dad left, he left Jagger out with him. He took Jagger out with him. So Jagger was outside and I didn't know it. And all of a sudden Jagger starts barking and here comes the Amazon guy. So I'm like running out there to get him because usually if the dogs are outside or a dog is outside, they throw my package in the middle of the driveway. So I ran out there and the guy saw me and I put Jagger inside and I walked out there and I was like, you can come out. He's in the house. And he's like, okay. And he says, we're not allowed to approach dogs. It's one of the rules of Amazon. And I'm like, oh, really? And he goes, yeah. He goes, nobody really believes me, but it really is. And I said, well, usually they throw my package in the middle of the driveway. And I said, one time the package was very small, so I'm lucky nobody ran over it. And he's like, he's like, no, they're supposed to call you and ask you what you want them to do with it. And I said, literally, they've thrown them in my driveway probably 5 times, at least.
Well,
and I don't blame them because I wouldn't approach my dogs either.
yeah. And not only that, but I know there's a lot of drivers that stop at my house that's from the city. and when I go out and talk to them, they just talk about the country, how it's just they just so out of place being out far away. It's like they're out of their comfort zone basically.
Yeah. Well, and I told him, I was like, it's fine. I said, I'm here. He's inside. We're all good. So I had to sign for whatever because, of course, they can't take a picture if they're handing it to me. So
Sure.
now they make you sign something.
Did I
Yeah.
ever tell you the story when we had the Rottweiler and we lived in Covington, Kentucky?
No.
Okay, so we had this Rottweiler. He was the sweetest thing ever. He would have never hurt anybody, but he did not like the mailman. And it was an old house, and our mailbox was attached to the house. So the mailman had to come up like 6 steps, and it was attached to the outside of the house, next to the window. He would throw our mail down on the very bottom step, and he wrote in a marker on one of the letters, "Roddy coming through window."
Well, really?
Yeah, and I'm like, apparently, I guess the neighbor, though, they had kind of the same setup, and their dog did break the window trying to get to the mailman. Now, our dog ate the wall trying to get to the mailman, and we did end up moving the mailbox down to the street so we could get our mail and it wouldn't all blow away, because I was in the same boat with Rachel, where it's like we've got letters blowing all over the porch. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Wow.
But he just wrote on it, "Roddy coming through window." I'm like, the dog never came through the window. He just ate the wall.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Gotta love our animals. That's for sure. So, Rachel,
Yeah.
can you let all of our listeners know, because I know everybody's dying to know, what are we talking about today?
So today we are talking about parenting.
Parenting, because
Parenting what? Like, I don't really know how to say it.
we're all so good at it. That's why we're talking about it, right?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
parenting styles and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, there is not a wrong way. So
Yeah.
everything we're
We're
talking
not
about,
here to judge. This is just our opinion.
and so just we're not, exactly, judging.
Don't
you.
come at us.
Don't come at us. It's all good. I mean, you know what kind of parent I am. I'm in hotels 360 days. But anyway. All right.
So what do you guys got?
So I kind of had some of the same ones that we had talked about, are like the 4, I guess there's 4 major styles that are out there. Kurt, did you want to start with those? Because then I found several others and as well to those 4.
Yeah, I'm having a little problem to tell everybody. I'm having a little problem pronouncing these words. It's way over my intelligent range. So I actually sent it to the text to these 2 ladies to say, you guys got to help me out because I have no idea what these words are. And Rachel did pretty good. Rachel, do you mind explaining or telling what these words are?
Get back up. Hold on.
All right.
Okay, so you got authoritative or authoritative? Authoritative. Authoritarian, permissive, and uninvolved. Do you want to explain what each one is?
Well, I know uninvolved is basically just not really involved if your family's everyday, just your everyday life. So I know what that one is, but let's see what the other one is. What's the one that starts with the A and ends with the
Oh God.
authoritative? Is that right?
Authoritative, yeah.
Okay, so that is able to. It's basically a trust system. So you're trusting your child to do the right thing. That's kind of what that means. And then what's the other A word? Authoritarian.
Authoritarian.
That's very strict. Being a very strict parent, not really letting your child do anything. Yeah. What's the other one?
Permissive.
Okay, so that's basically freedom. You're letting your child do whatever they want to do and letting them pretty much make up their own rules and yeah. So then with the 4.
Which one are you?
Well, I'm neither because I'm on the road 360 days out of the year. So I
Okay,
guess
what about Beth. What do you think Beth is?
So Beth is not really strict. She likes the word no. But she's not really that strict. I guess we kind of like to guide our kids to make the right decision. But she's not very, very strict. So I don't know which one we fall under, honestly. I didn't even think about that.
I don't feel like I fall really under any of these.
Yeah.
Might be a mix. I don't know.
And I think most people find that it is a mix of different styles because you can't always be one way or the other, depending on your child, depending on where your child is in their milestones, and depending on
Situation.
what you're trying to parent. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that.
So I found some other ones, which I thought were interesting because as a social worker, I only know about those 4, and those are the 4 that I teach when I teach. So I was interested to see what else I could find. So there were a couple of other ones. Attachment parenting.
Where you're attached to your child?
Yeah, you maintain a secure attachment through adolescence, and you express understanding, good communication. We tend to be, as parents, extremely concerned about our children.
That's true.
There's another one on here that I know that we'll all be very aware of called helicopter parenting.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I do that. I'll be honest.
And it says helicopter parenting. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a helicopter parent. These parents are constantly hover, stop at the next to nothing when it concerns their children.
Yeah.
I'm not that all the time, but I do. I just want to make sure they're safe. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure they're making good decisions. So you kind of have to hover over them a little bit to make sure that they're doing the right things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Now for me, I constantly worry about the kids all the time.
Yeah, me too.
It doesn't matter what time of day it is. I'm constantly worried. I'm worried about my grown kids that are adults driving to work every day, driving back. My daughter driving to work, driving back. I'm worried about her going out at night. I'm just constantly worried about them.
Me too.
That is one of my biggest things. And me being away makes it even harder because I don't know what they're doing. I know they're in good hands with Beth. Like I said, the adults, all my kids are adults now, but even when they weren't, they're in good hands with Beth, and I'm very, very blessed that my kids have a mother like my wife. Yeah, I'm kissing butt, but yeah, being on the road, I'm constantly worried.
Jeannie, do you think you're a helicopter parent ever?
I am not a helicopter parent. I would never be a helicopter parent. When it comes to my parenting style, I think I'm more authoritative, kind of allow them to make their own decisions and try to positive parent. Mike is a lot more of a helicopter parent. He's a lot more involved in the day-to-day and what's going on, knows all their friends' names, knows everybody on the soccer team. So he's just a little bit more involved and more aware of the day-to-day things, whereas I guess I'm more of the buffer when they do bad things, that they can come to me and we can sort of hash that out. Whereas he's a little bit more like, I can't believe you did that. What are you doing? And might blow up.
Right. What was that first one that you said before helicopter parent? You said something.
Attachment parenting.
What's that?
Is that? Parents continue to maintain a secure attachment through adolescence by expressing understanding, good communication skills. It's a trending parenting style where parents are extremely concerned about their children.
That's me.
Yeah.
So
And
I've always told my kids, I'm like, listen, communication is the key to every single relationship that you're in, whether it is a girlfriend, boyfriend, just friends, a work relationship, whatever. And I've always taught them, like, as long as you give me respect, I will give you respect. So I've never actually really raised my voice or anything at my kids because I've never had to. They literally just do what I say. Now, there's been sneaky times where I've caught them doing, well, more Caleb than Josie, but
that's what I was thinking.
I caught him doing a couple things, and I just sat him down and I'm like, what's going on? And we had a long talk about it. And I told him why it was wrong. And, we talked about it calmly. Now, Adam is totally opposite of me. He's a yeller. So he's the one that screams and yells at him. And I'm the one that comes in and says, okay, let's talk this out. What's going on? Communication is what I call it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's very good communication when you're screaming at your child. It's just really hard for me to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you are a screamer and you're always screaming at your kids, they're going to be screamers too.
Correct.
Yes, I agree with that.
Correct. Now, I'm not going to say I've never yelled at my kids before. I have. It's very uncommon for that to happen.
I cannot see you yell at your kids.
I can't either.
I had a few times, but Beth always says I'm always the good parent. I'm the one that she's the one that has to get the whip out. But I don't know. I mean, I can't help it. I'm a kid myself.
And see, I yell, but it's about stuff. It's not about stuff they're doing. It's when they've overstepped and they're overstepped into my personal stuff, or they have utilized something they weren't supposed to, or they've been told a million times not to do this, then I'll lose it. So it's not necessarily because they've done something and I'm looking at a discipline. It's more they've overstepped a personal boundary, and I've already said 3 times nicely, please don't use this, and they continued to use it. So then I lose it and start screaming like a lunatic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible parenting. And that's all they're going to remember. They're not going to remember the first 3 nice times I asked.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm to the stage now. Beth and I are to the stage now that we have adults.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel, you're kind of there too.
It's totally different now.
It's totally different now. It's more like Rachel, you nailed on the nose. You worry. You're totally concerned, you want to make sure that they're doing good. You want to make sure they're making right decisions. But it is totally different parenting. I mean, if you want to call it that, but I mean, Beth has no shame of still telling the grown kids what they're doing wrong or doing right. And I probably would do the same thing too, but it's totally different. Yeah.
Well, and all your kids are over the age of 18, and so are mine.
That's right.
So it's kind of, you got to keep that in mind too.
Yep.
Which is really hard for me, especially when Josie went to college. I want to call her every single day and make sure she did everything that she was supposed to do that day, because that's how it was here.
Yeah.
But I had to let go. I had to,
And she's doing good, Rachel.
Doing great. She loves it. She even
She's-
said to me the other day there she's looking for an apartment for next year with her roommate. They're going to get an apartment instead of staying in the dorms. And she's like, "Mom, we got this all we looked at these places," and she sent me some and she's like, "Aren't you proud of me? I'm so grown up." I'm like, I am proud of you. Like, you are amazing. She
Yeah,
went and got it. She got a job on her own. Like, she just did it all.
It makes me sad, Rachel. I ain't gonna lie. Our kids are growing up.
I know.
I have a 13-year-old. You can borrow her anytime. Anytime. Free of
Uh,
charge.
she's TikTok famous.
She is. She is TikTok famous. She has blocked us from her TikTok, so I don't
Oh,
actually get to see
no.
them. So if you're enjoying them, I'm glad. But yeah,
I'll have to find her and follow her.
yes.
I think
But my
Joseph follows
bigger-
her.
When we talk about parenting styles, I always think about, because mine is 16, she'll be 17 and out of the house in a year, because she tells me as soon as she's graduated high school, she'll be gone. I don't know that she realizes what the world costs, but we'll see. I just need them to come back for the holidays, and we don't really. I know we talked about traditions last time we were on. I didn't grow up with any traditions, and so I've had to really try to make traditions in our family. And I just need them to come back. Like, they need to come back for the holidays, for birthdays, things like that. So I'm hoping that my parenting style has really, helped them understand that they have to come back for a few times out of the year.
Come back.
Yeah, they always come back.
Well,
Yeah.
yours never leave.
Oh, you're right, Rachel. You're right.
I'm just kidding.
Well, no, you're right, because Beth and I had this exact conversation the other day. Is oldest son end up getting a house now, so and I asked Beth, I said, how do you feel about it? And she said, I'm like,
She
well,
said,
yeah,
"What?
she's gonna miss them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
be weird for you guys."
yeah, and I agree. It's one of them things where you don't miss their messes. You don't miss all the stuff you have to go around and pick up after them. You don't miss any of that stuff. But they are human beings, and they've been around forever, and it's hard. It's hard to see them go. Even though I'm never there, they're still hard to see them go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what about curfews? Jeannie, do your kids have curfews?
They do, but it depends on where they're going and what they're doing.
Okay, that's how I
Oh.
was too.
Yeah, it just depends on where they're going and what they're doing. And then, of course, we have Life 360, so you can
Mm-hmm.
see everything.
A lot.
Now, your kids are over 18, so I guess you don't have to do curfews anymore.
No, but when I grew up, I had a curfew till I was 21 and moved out of the house.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Till you were 21?
Yes.
Oh.
And granted, things were different back then. My mom just wanted to know, my parents just wanted to know that I was home and safe. And if they had a specific time that I was supposed to be home and I wasn't, then they knew that something was wrong.
Now, did you ever break curfew?
No.
You never broke
I would
curfew?
never. My dad would have killed me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here right now doing this podcast.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I noticed that, when I was younger, my mom and dad always said, man, you're home an hour early. And that's because, I was on slow time. You all were on fast time. So when you guys had to be in, I had a whole hour. And what am I going to do besides go home? So I always was home early. And my mom always tells me that she thanks Beth and you for that because of the time change. I always made curfew because of you guys.
Well, when I did move out, I moved out with one of my friends. We got an apartment. And then that lease was up and I moved back home and I didn't have a curfew anymore. So I guess once I moved out and they saw that I was, fine because they couldn't do anything then, I guess they kind of decided, well, she doesn't need a curfew now. She already lived on her own for a year. I don't know, but they didn't give me one after that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your mom.
But I did always tell them, my mom, where I was going, who I was going with, et cetera, et cetera. Like even when Adam and I were living there with the kids, when our house was being built, I always told my mom where I was going before I left because she appreciated that. You know what I mean?
Well, sure.
And I had a much, much different parenting style from my parents growing up because I never had a curfew. They never really asked where I was going or what I was doing. So I was kind of free to make my own decisions. If I got in trouble for something, my only rule was I was not allowed to get in trouble at school. That was the big rule. They did not want to have to come to school for any reason. So that was really the only rule I had, was don't get in trouble at school.
Did you follow?
So if I got in trouble, I got in trouble for skipping school and we got caught. And so then, of course, they had to come to school because of that. And yes, I got in trouble. I think I had to do yard work. That was my punishment. So, yeah.
Now, what about grounding? Did you guys get grounded? Or they have some other form of punishment?
No.
Well, he said yard work.
I grounded a lot.
I can see that.
A lot.
My parents were never home to be able to, and that was before cameras and cell phones and all of that. So even if they were to ground me, they wouldn't have been there to enforce it. So no, I wasn't ever grounded.
I don't ever remember being grounded either. But I don't really think none of us really broke rules.
No, you and Beth both were right on. Right on. I mean, your mom even had real strict boyfriend rules too. That's another thing.
Yeah. Well, see, my dad was a high school teacher, so he knew what went on, and it was just, we weren't allowed to do that stuff. I even had a guy that actually went to the high school my dad taught at that liked me and asked me out, and he called the house, and my dad found out who it was, and he said, "No, you're not seeing him. I don't know. He's wild." No, I wasn't allowed to talk to him.
Yeah. Well, good for your dad.
Yeah. So yeah, my brother had made a couple of comments about once people had met my parents, like when I was younger, it was bizarre because once people would meet our parents, they would be like, "Oh, you can't hang out with her. You can't go to their house," because my parents were just kind of very just odd and very just not around. And so he always felt like that was an issue when we would try and make friends, that other parents would meet my parents and be like, yeah, you can't hang around that person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you guys ground, or did you ground your kids?
We did. Yes.
Jeannie?
So yes, my husband is a big believer in that punishment. But the social worker in me says you should do it according to their age, and there should be a very limited time to it. And he disagrees with that and feels like they should be grounded for eternity until they're like 18 or 30. So yes.
Okay. Yeah, we used the grounding a couple of times. I mean, not a lot, but when the kids were really little, Adam would put them in the corner. And they hated it. And it was for the stupidest things sometimes, but he'd be like, "Go put your nose in the corner." And they would literally stand there and cry. And then if you ground them, they just stayed home and did whatever. You know what I mean? But they hated that corner. But he also told them, like, beat it in their brains that they had to respect me. So I think that helped too with how they always obeyed everything that I said to do. They still do.
Yeah. Rachel, do you remember, and I'm changing the subject here, that's because something just popped in. Do you remember when we talked about curfews on one of our podcasts?
Maybe.
Well, you'll remember when I say this, and remember the hate mail we got on that?
That wasn't curfews. That was chores.
Chores. That's what it was. Chores.
Oh yeah.
Chores. That's what
We
it
got
was.
hate mail.
Oh man, it wasn't it a group or something? Wasn't it like a?
It was different people, and I'm assuming they were from the same.
What
Yeah.
kind of chores do you
Oh.
guys make your children do?
It had nothing to do with what. It's that we actually gave our kids chores.
Yeah.
Oh,
They don't
Sure.
believe in chores. They say it's slave work. You don't have kids to have them do your work. Like it went on and on and on. And we're just
Yeah.
bad parents. We don't love our children.
It was horrible. Actually, if you want to know the honest truth, it did not make me mad. I laughed. About
I
it.
laughed so hard. And Caleb got on there. Kira got on there and started saying stuff to him. And then Caleb got on there and he was like, my friend, what did he say? My friend didn't have chores growing up and now he's in jail. Like, and they were like, and then then one of them come back and they were like, well, my friend did have chores growing up and now he's in jail. And Caleb's like, whatever. Oh, it was hilarious.
Funny.
Then they deleted us and whatever. They're gone now.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about them listening to our podcast.
No, definitely not.
But again,
Apparently, the parenting style that they're from is maybe an uninvolved parent that doesn't ask them to do anything.
oh yeah,
Because then you don't love them.
That's right. That's right.
right.
It's
That's
so
right.
weird.
It is weird, but and I will stress this again: there is no wrong or right answers here. We are not judging anybody from how they parenting, so please don't judge us for what we're talking about. This is just a conversation, and if you have something to say about how you do it, please email us, and we'll be more than glad to share it the next podcast that we do. But yeah, we're all friends here.
Yeah.
That's right.
That is a very positive parenting style that you are demonstrating, Kurt, just so you know.
Well, thank you. I try.
So let's see. What else do I have written down here? Do you guys have anything else about it?
The only other thing I have, I was trying to look at the differences between like modern parenting and traditional parenting.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that comes up is that modern parenting is just a more relaxed approach, encourages open communication between parents and children, focuses on building strong relationships, and it does teach children to try and think for themselves and make responsible decisions. So, but I kind of think that falls under the authoritative type of parenting. But that was the only other thing I came up with. I was really curious if there was a difference between millennials and Gen Zs, Gen X, just to see, but I didn't get anything on that.
So have you guys ever heard of like natural consequences for kids?
No.
So for example, it's a parenting style where it's natural consequences. Like if your child doesn't want to wear a coat outside and it's freezing, and the natural consequence would be the child gets cold and then next time he'll wear his coat. But if you're, I'm like, do you agree with that though?
I agree with it 100%. I would do that.
You would.
You don't want to wear your coat? I'm not going to fight you. Don't wear your coat. You're going to be cold, not me.
Okay. And see, and I'm opposite. I would be like, you got two choices here. You wear your coat or you don't go outside, like period. Like there's no other choice. You got to listen to me. Like I'm the boss, I guess, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
My kids are the ones that would go to daycare dressed in Halloween costumes if they wanted to, because I'm not going to argue with you. You want to wear your Halloween costume in July, put that baby on and have a great day.
Yeah, for me, I agree with both of you guys because, you know, Beth was different than I was, but I was like, same thing. Like, no, you guys are going to do this. If you don't, you don't get to go or whatever. But then there was a point of time where I got tested so much, I just kind of gave up, you know, and I'm like, you know what, you know, if you want to walk out in front of a moving car, go ahead. But, you know, you're going to get hurt, you know, not really, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've always let my kids dress however they want to dress because I feel like that's their their expression. You know what I mean? And some of the things Josie wore when she was little, I was like, ugh, but you know, it's Josie. So if you want to wear a flowy striped skirt with a, I don't know, flower top, okay.
So that brings me that made this thought pop in my head of course, where do you stand with your kids getting their piercings and their tattoos? Because you can't get tattoos in South Carolina until you're 18, even with parental signatures. It's not legal, but you can get piercings starting at 14.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
So as my easygoing parenting style, I'm A-okay with all the piercings that they would like to get. It's your body. I'm going to put holes in it. Go right ahead. Can't get tattoos until they're 18, but I'm sure they'll have tattoos as soon as they turn 18 in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told my kids, they've brought up things to me before, and I'm just like, I would rather you wait till you're 18, first of all, because then you can make your own choice, and if you regret it, it's your fault. Piercings, though, Josie at one point wanted to get her belly button pierced at 16, and I told her that's fine. I mean, you're 16, you're old enough to know whether or not you want your belly button pierced. But then she decided not to. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think that's how old I was when I got my belly button pierced.
Well, I had mine pierced, but not at 16. I don't think my mom would have let me, but I told Josie she could, and she didn't. Didn't want your boys got their ears pierced. How old were they when they did that?
Zach was 16.
Yeah.
16 maybe when he got his ears pierced, maybe a little younger. Yeah. But that just brings up another thing too, is how different all three, and I think we all probably can say this, maybe not, but how different each of them kids were to raise. I mean, Zach was day and night difference to Justin. Justin was day and night difference to Kira.
And I think that too would have a big difference on how you parent them. So you could have a different parenting style with each kid.
Correct. Yep.
That's a good point.
Now, my sister, who has 4 kids, 3 biological and 1 adopted, and she is a minister, and she used to get the parenting books and like outline them and take notes, and was very, very much like all into all the different parenting styles and really making sure that she accommodated each child. And she would be the person that I would look up to on how to parent. And I can tell you, she was very challenged with one of her kids. The other 3 were, pretty status quo, but yeah, so it is. The parenting style can differ depending on the child.
Yeah.
So what about like cussing? Do you guys let your kids cuss?
That's for me, that's very.
I should say when they were younger, not now. I mean, we all know that they all cuss now, but when they were younger and just say elementary school, middle school.
Oh, absolutely
even
not.
in high school.
No way.
I have not believe how many kids I hear cussing in front of their parents.
Yeah, well, don't get me wrong. I'm sure my kids cussed when they were away from us. I mean,
oh yeah, they probably all do. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a major no. And then when they get older and they start, it's kind of hard to swallow sometimes. But
yeah, Josie was the other day. She was here, not the other day, the other week. I don't know, month. She said she was telling me a story, and she's like, yeah, and she said, and she stopped, and she was like, "Can I say it?" I'm like, yes, you can say. It's like, you're 18 years old. Go ahead and say it. So she said the B word. But when she was younger, I remember she was mad one time, and I walked into her room, and I was like, "What is going on?" Because I heard her like up there. I think she was talking to somebody. I don't know. And she's like, I'm just mad. This person or whatever, she's like, she's such a beach. And I was like, a beach? I was like, you can't say that. She goes, Mom, I said beach. And I'm like, yeah, but I know what you meant. Like,
That's funny.
It was funny.
So I'll go back to my more relaxed parenting style. I don't care if my kids cuss in front of me, but they can't do it in front of their other parents. They can't do it at school, in front of teachers. So I've tried to educate that, I'm fine, but both of them are pretty respectful that they don't cuss in front of Mike and I.
Mhm.
But I also don't, if they do, I try not to make a huge reaction because I feel like that's what they're looking for, is that reaction. So I try not to react to it and I cuss. So terribly.
Yeah. I mean, Adam and I don't cuss a lot as much as Adam, but I always thought, I was like, oh gosh, our kids are going to be like cussing like sailors, but I still to this day don't hear them cuss. I know they do when they're out. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But just in front of us, they don't yet. But I didn't cuss in front of my parents until I was an adult. Like an adult, like probably 30, 35 years old.
Yeah, I try not to.
Yeah, you probably still don't.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, if I get like really, really worked up, you might hear me say some things, but my mom and dad really beat that into me when I was younger. So, and it still sticks with me today. So good job, Mom and Dad. I just don't like it. I just don't.
Yeah, I knew that. You've always said that you hated it.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. Well, guess what?
What?
We are at an hour, and we really can't go over an hour.
Okay.
So we're probably going to have to end it if you ladies are okay with that. Even though I could sit here and talk for another 2 hours with you ladies, but the podcasting gods don't like it. So
What happens?
basically, when you do podcast over an hour, it charges you a lot more.
Enough said.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got it.
Got it. Yeah. So it's not only that, but podcasts, people get pretty bored from that. So yeah, even though we're not boring, I know people can listen to us all day. I know it. But,
I know. It's really funnest people ever.
I know, right?
Then they have to send us all the bad reviews about chores.
Yeah, chores and stuff. That's right. We might get a couple on this one too. I don't know. We'll see. But if we do, we're going to share it with everybody. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Right. Watch what you send, because
Right.
we'll go ahead and share it.
That's right. But anyway, ladies, thank you so much for being on today. I greatly appreciate it.
No, thank
No, thank you. Jane, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And don't forget, if you guys got a question out there, you can email us at 3toagree@gmail.com. Gosh, I cannot talk. We also have a Facebook page too. It's 3toagree. Instagram 3toagree. Our Facebook page. Oh, I already said that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Our YouTube page. I know you guys probably can't guess what it is, but it's 3toagree. You're more than welcome to subscribe on all of them, and we would love to see you on there and make comments and
Did you
talk.
say describe?
I did say that, and I was hoping that you did not catch.
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
I didn't know if I heard you wrong.
You did hear me wrong.
I did. Okay, I'm so sorry.
No, because everybody out there is going to rewind this now, and they're going to hear me say. So I can't lie.
True.
Yeah, so I did say it wrong, but yeah, you know what I meant. But anyway, thank you, ladies. You guys have a wonderful week, and until next week.
See you later.
See ya.